Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michaela and welcome to a 24-hour readathon, I guess. So, okay, mind that I look crazy, but it is Monday night at like 10:30 p.m. And I decided last minute to do a 24-hour readathon. I tried to film a weekly vlog for week 3 of the Owls readathon, which I'm still participating in, but it didn't really go as planned. So last minute, I decided to do a little 24-hour readathon from 12 o'clock midnight Tuesday to like 12 o'clock midnight Wednesday. So all of Tuesday I'm going to be doing a 24-hour readathon, and I decided to vlog it. I'm also very behind on the Owls, so this is a little way to catch up as well. But before we officially dive into the readathon, I want to tell you about the read I just finished. Because I finished it like a few days ago and I want to talk about it on my channel, and that was Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. So if you watched my week 1 vlog, you would know that I had just started this and I was very intimidated by it, and I finally finished it. So I didn't want to like not talk about this, considering I left you guys on a bit of a cliffhanger in my week 1 vlog, and I just wanted to tell you my like wrapped up thoughts about it in the beginning of this vlog. I should also know and tell you guys that I decided a few days ago I'm not going to be giving books ratings anymore, just because I feel like it puts some pressure on me, and I feel like when I'm reading a book, I'm very concerned, and like in the back of my mind I'm always thinking about what I'm going to be rating the book, and I just don't want to feel that anymore. I want to tell you guys my thoughts and what I like and what I dislike about it and all the in between without just putting a number on it, if that makes sense. I would rather be able to tell people what I think about a book in words then, like I said, just put a number on it. So yeah, I won't be telling you my rating for this, but I will tell you my thoughts, and that's why I wanted to preface this little review section with that. Okay, let's get into Game of Thrones. I really enjoyed this. I am shocked that I enjoyed this, to be honest. If you watch my channel whatsoever, you'll know that I do not read a lot of high fantasy, and so this was one of my first delves into it, actually, and it's like one of the scariest books I could have delved into high fantasy with, but I decided to do it nonetheless, and I came out with it potentially being one of the top books I've read recently. I think it was a really good start to a series, that's for sure. I don't really know how to explain this book because there's so many different storylines within one, but the whole book is pretty much leading up to this war that's about to happen, and like the next books carry on throughout the entire war, I believe. But yeah, so this book is kind of showing you how this war leads up, and it's also giving you the background to all the characters. This book, it's also told in multiple perspectives, so you're getting to know a lot of characters in like 700 pages, and I think what this did was really smart because we're caring for the characters, and we're getting to know the characters, we're getting to know the magic system, we're getting to know the world, we're getting to know all the foundation we need to know before we go into this war that we're about to read about, and before we're about to see all of these characters potentially get killed off, or potentially win battles, we already have a solid foundation in our love for them, and or hatred for them. So I think that was really smart, and I definitely have connections to characters, and I think George R.R. Martin is definitely not afraid to do the unthinkable within the series, as in there are already multiple deaths in this book, and if that shows me anything, it shows me George R.R. Martin is not afraid to kill people off, and I think that's a really smart move on his part, because you are always expecting the unexpected, and you're never, it's not one of those books where you're like, oh, they can't kill that person off because they're the main character type deal, because he's killing everybody off. So I think it adds more suspense to the series, and I think it makes the readers more compelled to read it. So yeah, that's my initial thoughts. I think that it did a really good job at what a first book is supposed to do. We have a solid foundation for the rest of the series, and we have a love or hatred for characters, and it gave the backstory really well as well. We know the backstory of the world, we know the backstory of how the king got into his position now, we know a lot of what we need to know. I think this was a really solid foundation, and I'm really excited to delve more into the series and finish off the series. I've decided to watch the season corresponding to the book after the book, so I just started season 1 of the show, and I'm really enjoying that as well. But yeah, so I just wanted to give my thoughts on this. I don't really know how to describe what this is about, to be honest. If I'd have to say the main plot, it's basically about this king. His name is Robert Baratheon. There's multiple different houses, and he fought a war many years ago to become king, and we're also following Ned, Eddard Stark, who helped him win the war, I guess, and help him be seated on the throne. So the Hand of the King, Jon Arryn, he died mysteriously, I guess, and then Robert Baratheon goes out to the Northward where Eddard Stark lives to ask him to be the new Hand. Ned basically goes because his wife, Catelyn Tully, he goes because she gets a letter from Jon Arryn's wife, who is Catelyn Tully's sister, basically saying that she thinks her husband was murdered. So I would say that was the main plot. The main plot is following what happened to Jon Arryn, and trying to get to the bottom of it, but there's also so many different plot lines within. One plot line is that Catelyn and Ned's son falls from a tower, and he's a very, like, seasoned climber. I guess he's only like 10 years old, but he falls, and somebody is sent in the night, I guess, to try to murder him with a dagger. So there's that storyline of who would want to kill his son. There's just so many plot lines. We also see the descendants of the Mad King, and that was the king that Robert Baratheon, I guess, claimed the throne from, killed him to claim the throne. I don't really know the words, but that's another storyline. There's so many storylines in here, and I would say if you are interested whatsoever in this series and in this book, and you have any fear in it, I would definitely say pick it up because it's so good, and I think that you'll really enjoy it once you get into it. I know it's intimidating. I was scared. I don't even read fantasy, but I got through it and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, if you have any inkling to read this book, please do. It's so good. But anyways, this has gone on for like 10 minutes, and we got a 24-hour readathon to film, so yeah. So I guess I should probably show you the books that I am considering for this 24-hour readathon. So the 4 books I have here to finish off my TBR is A Million Junes by Emily Henry, I Stop Somewhere by T.E. Carter, City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, and Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. I will update you when it is midnight. It's about 10:30 right now. Hi, I'm back in the exact same position, but a different time and a different shirt. I decided to pick the shortest one because I thought I probably have the best chance of finishing this one, and the font is like really big, and that is I Stop Somewhere by T.E. Carter. So I'm not really sure what this is about other than it's a really hard-hitting contemporary. I think, yeah, this girl finds herself trapped after a brutal assault. She wasn't the first victim, and now she watches it happen again and again. And I looked it up on Goodreads, and some people that I follow have given it some pretty good reviews. So yeah, I'm going to read this one over the next 24 hours because it's the shortest. I don't think I've mentioned anywhere yet, but I actually switched out one of the books on my TBR. So I took Nevernight out, which was originally fulfilling the prompt for Defense Against the Dark Arts, I think. It's the one where it was set by Sea or Coast. And I switched it in for A Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I decided to do that because I was already reading this for a buddy read with some of my booktube friends, Sarah, Sage, and Angel. I will link them all down below if you want to check their channels out. But yeah, we started doing this buddy read in the end of March, and I was originally planning on reading this on top of the, like my Owls TBR, but then I decided I don't have enough time for that. I'm probably not going to finish my Owls TBR as it is, so I will just switch it out. Currently I'm on page 324, and I have to read to the next, like, book, I guess, and that is page 397, so I have about 75 pages to read. So my plans for this 24-hour readathon is to complete this and then read 75 pages of this. Let me see how many pages are on this. So in I Stop Somewhere, there's 298 pages, and the font is like, it looks small there, but it's pretty big. So I have high hopes that I will finish this. I'll say I want to read about 375 pages in 24 hours, which I think is doable if I just make myself read. So yeah, I'm probably going to start the readathon with reading this. I'm pretty tired though, so I don't know how much reading I'll actually get done tonight before I go to bed. But I am going to go get a drink, and then I will start reading this, and I will update you. I don't know if I'll update you tonight, but I will definitely update you in the morning. Okay, so it's like 4:30 the next day. Not the next day, like continuing on from when we started last night. So it's still the 24 hours. And I'm only on page 85 and I stopped somewhere. I was expecting to be a lot farther than that, but it is what it is. As you can probably guess, all of school has went online. And I'm done school right now. I finished like a week ago. But my sister, who's in grade 4, she is still going and I have to like help her every day. So that takes like a few hours of my time every day. So I did that, and then I sat outside with her for a little bit. I think I put a clip in like right before this one of me reading out there, and like just a lot of shit has happened today that has stopped me from reading, but I still want to upload this vlog, so I'm going to try to make the next however many hours are till midnight tonight the most eventful hours of my life that I can do while I'm stuck in a house. So I thought I would just update you my thoughts on this for right now. And it is a lot heavier than I thought it was going to be. It's definitely a hard-hitting contemporary like I thought it was going to be, but it's a lot harder hitting than I anticipated. It's basically about this girl named Ellie, and we are in her mind. Something really terrible happens to her. We're getting flashbacks, so we know what happened leading up to this terrible thing that happened to her. We're also getting her perspective from now as well. And this is just very, very hard hitting, and it is, I don't know, really heavy. There's a lot of trigger warnings in this. I will try to find a list, or I will try to tell you a list when I finish it, if I finish it in this video. The opening scene is a rape scene, so it does not shy away from the details. We're basically just following this girl, Ellie, and it's very heartbreaking because we see her justify in her mind the things that has happened to her. We see her blame herself, and we see her think that she was so naive, even though I feel like this is a very accurate portrayal of all girls in high school. Like, a lot of us are naive, and a lot of us don't think the worst can happen to us. And I think it's very heartbreaking to see her think these things. And I think it's so much more heartbreaking because I bet a lot of people who are in the same situation think the same things, and I wish that I could just hug Ellie from this book, and I wish I could hug every other person who has ever went through something like this and just tell them it's not their fault, and that if a boy tells you you're pretty, that doesn't mean you have to have sex with him. I don't know why I'm like just getting so emotional over this. I think that this book is just so real and it's so raw. And it's very hard, don't get me wrong, it's such a hard read, but it's very needed. I think if you can handle the subject matter, I would say pick this up. And I think I said everything I want to say for right now. Hopefully I have a little bit more to update you later. Hopefully I do some things warrant putting in this vlog. So I'm going to continue reading this. I have a really big feeling I'm going to be crying by the end of this, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, okay, I'll update you later. Okay, this angle is not cute, but I just want to say something about this book. So it's basically a very big discussion on rape culture, and it's just hitting me so hard. Like, I think it's obviously written to hit me, but what's going on right now is, by the way, this is not going to be spoilery whatsoever, I don't think anyways, so yeah, don't worry about that. I'm not going to be saying spoilers, but so this book is written in a few parts, and I just finished part 1 and I just started part 2, and right now we're going through a case. So 2 of the girls that this happened to in the beginning, I guess, are trying to press charges on the boys that did it to them, and I don't want to say much else because I don't want to spoil anything, but the reason I say all that is because I want to read this quote to you, and this is a quote from the boys' lawyer, and I just want to read this to you. So the boys say, "We won't say anything," and the lawyer says, "It's important you don't, because if this does become a case, we make sure the burden of proof falls on the girls. Make them prove it wasn't consensual, which is very difficult to do. It's easy to walk away from these things as long as you know what to say." And that quote just hit me so hard because I feel like it's so true, which is so disgusting, but it's true. It's so true that all of the blame falls on the girls, and like he literally said, it's so easy to walk away from these things if you're the perpetrator of the crime, and it's just really fucking sad, and it's really fucking disgusting, and I just wanted to read that quote to you because I think it just really sums up the truth of it all, like the truth of what happens to these girls, and people in general. And yeah, I just wanted to read that quote to you and I guess give you a little update on what is happening in the book. Like I said earlier, I'm not like, I'm not purposely trying to put spoilers in here, so don't be afraid of that if you do want to read this book. Yeah, I just wanted to update you, and I'm gonna keep reading now. Okay, I'm still reading, but I just want to read you another quote from the book because I really think that everyone should read this if they're in the right headspace, because I think it's so important, and I'm honestly kind of surprised that not many people talk about it. Only 3 people that I follow on Goodreads have rated it, and read it. So yeah, I'm really surprised that not many people have read this. But yeah, so we're still following the case of, like, these girls have put together against these boys. The news is talking to this guy, and this guy says something that I just want to read to you. So he says, they're watching their futures be dismantled slowly. Their potential careers, families, their entire lifestyle is being destroyed. All because some young women have a hard time being responsible for their own actions. I thought that was another really powerful quote, just because, I don't know, this book is just so, I don't know what to say other than just so true. I think that honestly it's just a really deep dive into rape culture, and what people truly believe, and how the people that this happens to always seem to be the ones to blame. I think that that quote and this book is just so powerful, because I think it's just really showing the truth behind rape culture, and the truth behind what really happens to all these victims, and how the blame always seems to be put on them. And it's just a really difficult read. Honestly, it's really difficult, but it's really eye-opening and it's really powerful. I think that this is a really important one. But yeah, I'm gonna keep reading. I just wanted to let you know that quote though. Just got out of the bath and I had a shower as well. My grandma cut my hair a little bit, which is kind of cute, right? But I have 98 pages left in I Stop Somewhere, and I'm just gonna sit down and I'm not coming up for air until that's read. So I will update you when that 90 pages are over and I'm done the book. It's also like 9:30 right now, so I took a way lot longer than I thought I was going to read this today, but I'm gonna finish it nonetheless. So I'll see you then. Update, but I'm absolutely destroyed by this book. I'm not finished yet though, so it's probably only gonna get worse. Okay, so I finished the book, and now I need to talk about it because this was fucking heavy and I couldn't stop crying and it's so important. This might be one of my new favorite books of all time. So I don't really know how I described this book in the past clips when I was attempting to explain what it was about. I just want to like recap what it's about here because I haven't edited my footage yet, but I feel like I didn't do this book justice whatsoever. So basically we're following a girl, and she has been sexually assaulted. We are basically through her mind following how it happened, what led up to it, and in the second half of this book we're following the trial of who did this to her, because other girls come forward as well. And so we're following the trial of the sexual assault, and this is 100% one of the most heartbreaking stories I have ever read, because we see her justify what happened to her in the beginning. She tries to rationalize why this happened to her. She tried to blame herself, and oh my god, I don't even know. Like, this was just so heavy, and I just want to hold this girl. I want to hold Ellie. I want to hold all the girls this has ever happened to. I want to hold all the girls in this book, and I just want to tell them that it's not your fault. And I think over the course of the book, she learns that, and I know there's a lot of passages in here that show that she learns that and shows that she knows that it's not her fault, and all of these girls know that it's not their fault. There's a lot of really beautiful passages in here, and really powerful ones as well. But I think that this is just so important, and I think that this really truly shows you the state of our world and the justice that these girls get, or I guess don't get, and how disheartening and how disgusting and how harmful and how hurtful that is. And I think it does it in a way that really impacts you. I spent the last 100 pages of this book crying. The daughter-father relationship in this really hit me really hard for some reason, and I cried a lot over that. And I think that if you are in the right headspace to read this, I think you definitely need to read this. I think it's really important. I don't think it's talked about near enough. If you are struggling, if you've gone through something like this, and if you can read about this, because I will say there are some graphic depictions of sexual assault in this book, and if you can handle that, I think that this is a story for you. I think this is a story of healing. I think it shows how you can heal from something like this, and it's just very heavy. It's a lot, but it's so important. And yeah, this book, I don't even know. This is just, it's so much to me. And I really needed this personally. So yeah, this book did a lot for me. I just want to read something that the author says in her author's note, because it just hit me, and I just want to share that with you if you don't ever get the chance to read this. So she says, I hope you know that you matter. Your life matters. Every day you count and you change the world by existing. You affect the people and the places around you with the ripples you send out into the universe. And when it's hard to hold on to hope, when the light feels like it can't keep burning, there's a world of people behind you whom you've affected. They're there and they have your back even if you can't see them. I promise you we're behind you. I promise there's light at the end. And I think that kind of sums up this whole book and what it's about. It's about absolutely heinous crimes, and it's about these girls going through probably the most traumatic experiences of their lives, but I also think it's about healing, and it's about knowing that this isn't your fault. I think it's about knowing that it doesn't define you. I think it's about knowing that you didn't bring this onto you in any way. This book definitely changed my life, and it impacted me in a way I did not think it was going to be. And while this book is about the healing aspect of these girls, I also think it shows the injustice. I don't know if that's a word, but I think it shows the justice that these girls don't get. And I keep saying girls, but I mean anybody who ever goes through something like this. I think it shows the way that the world portrays people like this, and the idea that they wanted it, and listening to other people in the town, or just on the media's perceptions of these girls, I'm so heartbroken, because the words that they say and the thoughts they think are so disgusting, but I'm so much more heartbroken because I know that people do think like that, and I know that there is so much injustice of rape cases and sexual assault cases, and I just hurt for all of the girls. I hurt for everybody who ever has to go through something, and I'm fucking mad that our world is like this. I'm mad that our world treats people who go through these things like this. Yeah, so I think that it's also a very telling story on our world today, and I think it shows the truth of what is behind these cases. So I'm just looking at Chelsea from Chelsea Darling Reads review on Goodreads, and she has a little trigger warning thing at the bottom, so I wanted to give that to you. So she says rape, bullying, emotional manipulation, victim shaming, and blaming. So I would say if you can handle any of those subject matters, please read this book. But if you can't, obviously take care of your mental health first. So it's 11:06. So I still have about an hour left of the readathon, and I am going to read a little bit of the Starless Sea before it officially hits 12 o'clock. We've decided that we're just reading to the end now, and then we're gonna like meet up, which is our Google Meets hangout, when we finish the book. Also, I have this clip of our last Google Hangout that I don't want to go to waste, because I was gonna put it in my like weekly vlog, but then that was a flop, so I'm just gonna insert it here.
The Owl King.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, the connection.
The connections.
Yeah. The Owl King is just someone who went to Hogwarts and never passed the OWLs.
There we go. We've got it all put together.
The only person who properly completes this readathon.
Ah.
Whoa.
Cool.
What?
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to put that in because I think it's cute and I wanted to put it somewhere. But yeah, I'm going to read a little bit of the Starless Sea, so I'll catch you then. Okay, admittedly, I didn't read that much more of A Starless Sea, and it's not actually 12 o'clock, but I just want to wrap this vlog up here because I'm getting kind of tired and I want to, like, go to bed and, like, I don't know, maybe edit this video so I can get it up tomorrow. But I just wanted to do, like, a little bit of a wrap-up, and since this is technically a 24-hour readathon for the Owls, I wanted to tell you, like, what prompts each of these books complete, because I want to for the last like week of the Owls Read-a-thon, I want to commit to a week-long vlog. For some reason, I really struggle with week-long vlogs. But I really just, for the last week, I just want to commit. So yeah, hopefully I can do that. I did say I was going to tell you what this is about a little bit more, and tell you what page I'm on. So I'm currently on page 337, and there's, I don't know how much that is. From the bookmark to this, that's how much there's left. So I'm almost done. I will definitely finish by the end of the month, which I have about a week left. And if you haven't heard the hype yet and you don't know what this is about, it's basically about a boy who finds a book in his college library, and this book is very mysterious. It doesn't have a barcode, it doesn't scan out of the library, but they get that figured out, and he checks it out, and there's a particular story of his childhood in this book. So obviously he becomes very intrigued, and this book kind of takes him on a huge adventure. He finds like a secret underground society called the Starless Sea. This book is very confusing. It's very whimsical writing, and it's everything I expected from Aaron Morgenstern. If you read The Night Circus, it definitely has the same vibe to it. It has the same writing style, and if you enjoyed that, I think you'll enjoy this book as well. I am enjoying it a lot, but I'm very confused, and I find it very helpful to like meet up with the people I'm buddy reading this with and talk about it, because it makes like a lot of things make sense. We have a whole bunch of theories, so yeah, I think that I would be a lot more confused than I am now if we didn't talk about it and if I didn't have somebody to talk about this with. But I'm really enjoying it. I really enjoy Erin Morgenstern's writing style, and her mind is incredible with what she writes. So yeah, just a few thoughts on this right now, but I am really enjoying it. I'm also reading this for the challenge of Defense Against the Dark Arts, which is a book set at sea or coast. And then I read this for Charms, which is a white cover. I'm just going to wrap this up quickly here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know that this vlog is kind of a mess. It's all over the place, but I will try to put it together as best I can for you. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. I will definitely have a wrap up Owls week-long vlog for week 4. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you in my next video.